Yo, what's going on, crew? Welcome back for another One Piece review. The Voyage continues with episode 1119. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to join the council and become a part of the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. All right, everybody. So just like last week, we're going to start the discussion off with all the miscellaneous items and topics from the episode, everybody. So let's go ahead and get into it. So King Cobra faced a swift death at the hands of Imu and the five elders, but it was not in vain. With the message entrusted to him by King Cobra, Sabo makes it out of the lost chamber alive. However, Sabo wasn't the only one who was able to witness the true dark side of the world government, everybody. King Wapol was secretly watching the meeting unfold the entire time. After witnessing the truth, King Wapol rightfully begins to fear for his life and he proceeds to flee Marigeois. Now, concurrently happening at the same time, CP0 has taken the liberty to subdue Princess Vivy. Thankfully, Vivy will not be trapped for long as King Wapol comes crashing through the wall and proceeds to grab Vivy as he continues to consecutively crash through the walls of the building he is inside until he reaches the outside, where he then proceeds to continue running for his life as he takes Vivy with him. So, not much to say about this part. It's just great to see how Wapol and Vivy ended up together. Pretty sure in the next episode, we're going to see them get on, what's his name, Morgan's ship, or maybe Morgan comes to save him. Unless maybe that happens at a different part, but more than likely, at the end of this, Morgan is the one who actually helps them escape from Marigeois, right? But especially considering that his ship can fly, right? So he probably just flew up, right to them and just picked them up and dipped, right? But what was really cool about this though, right, was that we did get the confirmation that the original, the rest of the original crew of CP9, they were in fact indeed upgraded and I guess not upgraded. What's the word I'm looking for? Promoted. There we go. Promoted to CP0, everybody. So that means there's a potential that they could arrive at Egghead later on in the future here. Hopefully that doesn't ruin my dream of us getting a Kaku versus Sanji. Hopefully that's still alive. Make it happen, Oda. Let's get it. Kaku versus Sanji. Get the people what they want. By the people I mean me. Get me what we want. Get me what I want. Oh man, so yeah. Hopefully once again, hopefully we do get that Kaku versus Sanji, but just in general, it would be kind of cool to get a rematch of CP9. Well, I guess technically now CP0 versus the Straw Hats, right? Especially considering we got two new crew members now as well, and then everybody's just stronger. So what would a rematch between CP9 slash the new CP0 look like? But moving on from there, to the last little miscellaneous topic that we had here for this episode, right? Here I was hoping that we was going to see something cool from Admiral Fujitora, but I didn't expect it to be like this, right? So during the Reverie Raid, Admiral Fujitora assisted the Revolutionary Army in freeing the captured slaves. Amazing, right? Shout out to you, Fujitora. You was even when we first met you, you was always talking about how you want to dismantle the system, all that stuff like that. But I never thought, you would have the balls to do something like this in Marigeois, right? That's basically like just openly define them, right? So at this point, what does this mean for Fujitora going forward? Do they kick him out of that the Navy? Because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think they mentioned this when when the news of the Reverie first broken out, right? I think this is some new information that Fujitora and Ryokugyu got the fighting and whatnot, and that he helped free the slaves with the Revolutionary Army and all that. So is he still a part of the Navy? Did they lock this man up? Is he, or did they just depromote him to a lower title or something like that? I don't know. You would have to think that an offense like that wouldn't be taken lightly, right? And they might have locked him up. Who knows? But definitely, now they got me wondering, what happened to Fujitora and if he even is still a Navy soldier at this point, right? But all right, so let's go ahead and get to all the real good stuff for the episode from King Cobra once again, everybody. All right, everyone. So Oda Sensei is keeping the lore raining on all of us right now in the Egghead arc, and he's just keeping it coming. This is definitely one of my favorite things about the Egghead arc, all the new information that we just been getting so far. Just like last episode, there was a lot of new stuff that was dropped, but it's not as much as last episode. But thankfully, there still is a lot of good stuff to go and talk about, right? So unfortunately, King Cobra's curiosity got the best of him and his fate was sealed. Imu-Sama himself, or themselves, decided to make a personal appearance, and they had some words for King Cobra, right? Specifically, Imu had two things to tell Cobra and one thing to ask him, right? So we're gonna start with the first The first statement from Imu-Sama, which was, D is the name of the people who once opposed us. It has appeared in various places in recent years in hollow shells who don't even know the meaning of their own name. So basically this was just more of clarification and more really just a confirmation. There we go. This was really just confirmation that the name of D, like those people were indeed, the enemies of the celestial dragons and things of that nature. This is something we've been knew, right? Just we was talking about, last episode, how some people call the family of D the sworn enemy of the gods. So it's really nothing new or shocking or surprising to hear Imu say that, the name of D is the people who once opposed us. Really, the only thing I would have for that in this case is when Imu-Sama says us, who is he referring to, or who are they referring to, right? Are they referring to, them themselves, like them that oppose us, Imu-Sama, or are they referring to the first 20 or the government as an entity? Who do they mean by us, and who are they referring to in us in this instance? This could be just the government. I'm probably just overthinking this too much, but just semantics here. But let's go on to the next statement here. So, but like everything else, it stems from Queen Lily's blunder 800 years ago. Same with the scholars who sniff around the 100-year void and the pirates who seek the poneglyphs too, who hunt treasure. If it weren't for Lily's mistake on that day, the loathsome artifacts called the poneglyphs would not be scattered all over the world. One damning hypothesis can be made about this past event though. Were the poneglyphs unleashed really by mistake, or was it planned? To answer that, it must be written in Lily's letter that arrived in Alabasta. One thing that I do want to touch upon was that of course it was planned, right? We know the Wano stone smiths, they the one who made the poneglyphs, right? And the whole reason why they even made the poneglyphs was to write the detailed story of what happened in the Void Century, or write a story, about what happened in the Void Century, and to point the way to Raftail, right? So we know some of the quote unquote reasons, one of the main reasons why they made the poneglyphs. So of course it had to be planned, right? So there's no doubt in my mind that they planned this. Of course they probably unfortunately had to plan to make the poneglyphs in reaction to whatever the hell Imu-Sama and his group did, the first 20 did 800 years ago, right, during the Void Century. But of course it was planned, right? Also, I do believe this does explain a little bit of how the name D got spread around throughout the world. I was talking about this last week as well. So it appears that the name D came from the poneglyphs essentially, right? Because that's basically what Imu-Sama said. Just like everything else, it stems from Queen Lily's blunder 800 years ago, and that blunder was the scattering of all the poneglyphs. So maybe the poneglyphs is what actually had the name of D in it originally. That's how it got spread across the world and things of that nature, which actually makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, right? Because even if the name of D is related to the Advanced Kingdom and all that stuff like that, right, this would be one way they would have spread that word around and spread that name around, right, via the poneglyphs, because they're gone now, right? But via the poneglyphs. So it makes sense. At least that's the headcanon I'm going with, right? At least until proven further, right? That the name D, that's how it originally got spread around, in the world now via the poneglyphs. I could be wrong, but that's just how I interpret it though. But let's continue here. So those were the two statements that Imu-Sama had for King Cobra, and now the one question that he had for King Cobra was simply just, why have you been referring to Queen Lily as Queen Lily of the Nefertari all this time? Say the name that was on the letter, motherfucker. Say the name. Say it. And lo and behold, as one would expect at this point, Queen Lily's true name is Nefertari D. Lily, right? She is of the D family. Crazy how old is still making Alabasta even relevant now to this day in the story after 25 years later. It's just crazy, man. But one thing that I did want to point out now with the reveal of Queen Lily being a part of the D family, right? It's a possibility that the family of D and the Advanced Kingdom, they're two separate entities or two separate group of people, if you will. And the only reason why I say that is because if Queen Lily is, one of the family D, and if we were going with the theory that the people of D were the people of the Advanced Kingdom or whatnot, right? It doesn't make sense to me, just how I was saying last week. It doesn't make sense to me that Queen Lily would join the war to annihilate her own people, right? It just doesn't make sense, right? So it makes me think that the family of D and the Advanced Kingdom were two different groups of people, right? Because once again, why would Queen Lily join the war to annihilate her own people? it just doesn't make sense to me at all. None at all. But hopefully eventually we do get to actually hear the message that Lily left behind to the Alabaster, and we might have gotten that this episode with King Cobra, because he used his very last words to leave Sabo a cryptic message, and that cryptic message was, the poneglyphs bear the flag of the Dawn, Nefertari D. Lily. And you know, he said Nefertari D. Lily almost like it was a quote, so maybe this was the message that she ended up leaving behind. Who knows? But once again, with the message that she did leave behind, right? The poneglyphs bear the flag of the Dawn. Not really too much to go off that. It could just be a reference to how, you know, the poneglyphs hold the true story of the Void Century, or it could be, you know, a reference in a literal sense, and then, you know, like the poneglyphs hold like the insignia of the family of D or something like that. I don't know. Not really much to go off on that there at all. And then, you know, once again, maybe that was the actual message that was left behind from Queen Lily, stating, considering that King Cobra said, you know, the words, the poneglyphs bear the flag of the Dawn, then Nefertari D. Lily, like it was a statement by her. So I'm assuming that was the message. He didn't confirm, he didn't know like outright say it, but I'm just gonna assume that was the message that was left behind. Maybe not, because you would think she would leave more than just a sentence as a message you leave for your royal family of lineage behind. So hopefully there's more to it than just that. But you know, those were his last words, and that is what we was left with, everybody. Now, once again, you know, not much that we can actually take from that. But the very last thing, that I want to touch upon, and I didn't really want to touch upon this because I don't want to be spoiled on anything. Once again, I am anime only, but it does seem like all the 5 elders have Zoan devil fruits. Everybody, you know, in this episode we all saw them transforming, including Imu-Sama as well, but he didn't look like he transformed into like a, maybe more of a beast. So he might have actually be Zoan as well, because he did transform over into like a straight up monster or some type of thing. But it seems, you know, all the 5 elders have Zoan devil fruits, which is cool, especially considering, you know, like one of the charity figures was straight up like some type of giant bird, right? I don't think it gets any more clearer than that, right? I don't think it gets any more clearer than that. So definitely can't wait to see, you know, the reveal of all their devil fruits. I think that'll be hella cool, because, you know, once again, you know, the devil fruits of the 5 elders, what type of devil fruits have they been holding on to, you know, for the past 800 years, if they have also been alive for that long as well. We don't know how long these motherfuckers have been alive either, but you know, how long, what type of devil fruits these guys got, right? What can they do? Gotta be something crazy, right? Gotta be something crazy. So definitely can't wait to see the reveal of that. And you know, we should be getting the first one here, especially considering that Saint J Garcia is on his way to Egghead now, right? So oh god, that's still crazy to me to even think about it. An Admiral and one of the 5 elders pulling up at the same time. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's really much, you know, all I have for this week, everybody. That was all the lore, the rest of the lore that we got from King Cobra. So we didn't really, unfortunately, we didn't get like, I guess the true name or the true reasoning behind what the meaning of D is. Unfortunately, you know, Oda's still leaving us in the dark a little bit, but we did get some more answers though. It seems like Queen Lily is the reason, Queen Lily is the reason the poneglyphs got even scattered around in the first place, which is crazy. You know, that was also one thing that you always had to think about. How the hell they even scattered them across the world to even begin with, right? Makes me even wonder, maybe Zoe helped them out, scatter them across the world. Maybe Joy Boy helped him do it before his ultimate demise, back during the Void Century or whatever. I was gonna say maybe even the Noah maybe would have been used at one point to maybe help them transport, you know, the poneglyphs across the world. But then I don't know about that one, because, you know, going back to what King Poseidon was talking about was how, you know, how they protect Noah until one day somebody comes back to fulfill Joy Boy's promise to the kingdom, to the Fishman Island, right? And then that's when the Noah will actually be put to use for its true purpose, right? So if it's not going to be put to use for its true purpose, then not to say that it didn't already have a purpose before then, right? But I don't know. That's just throwing me off a little bit. So maybe, you know, it wasn't a Noah and all of that stuff. I don't know. I'm sorry about it. I'm just rambling on at this point. I am just rambling on at this point. That is all I had for this week, everybody. I will see you all for next week. Peace.